Hi Lewis. A bit of a not the best of weeks, but not the worst. Main issue was probably impatience again. Think kind of not like steps away from my system or process, but got maybe a little bit too distracted and quite. I would say like was a bit of a hectic week as well, but I did kind of kept my risk management more under control. I did let it slip on TSHA. I believe that was Wednesday. I did let it slip on that one, but as well, it's mainly purely enough for not waiting for my levels, but I kind of had like some, I would say, realization that I'm definitely not gonna be banking big, in 6 months, and then I'll just quit my job and start trading the open. So I more or less have to forget about that and just completely nail down everything that happens like after 1 p.m. be it long, be it short side. And I'm kind of slowly going through my like the screenshot I took for backtesting short side. So I'm slowly getting through those to find patterns on a long side, and this was kind of one of them, which I kind of want to talk about. HTCR. I slightly misjudged this, but the pattern on a higher time frame, basically, it's kind of what I've seen a couple of times already. That's more likely gonna clear out than not. Slightly misjudged this one because I had daily 200 around like 240. This area 2835 was daily point of control, volume point of control. This was halt level and 1010, pretty much the same level. And I had another level of resistance at around 260. So seeing the pattern, my idea was dip into this 1010, like dip into that, reclaim, and actually go clear out this and go up to reject 260. But of course, being that, I got sucked into what they wanted basically, so started early, then I added on the dip that I wanted into that 180-ish level, but then I stopped out. Didn't think it's gonna be actually bouncing. Felt weaker than it was. Then I switched my bias, thinking, okay, now we're gonna go for J line rejection, but I was thinking more on like 190 level. So yeah, almost like JLR. Actually, idea was like more like $2, but since that, so I was thinking, okay, I'm gonna allow it. Not short here. I'm gonna allow it to go up and test the $2. But then on a higher time frame, I noticed that it's actually doing what I wanted it to do. Because like this pickup in volume, this was completely non-existent. Then there's a slight pickup, and it's like holding. Okay, it's not the major. It's nothing like this, but it does seem to be holding the volume, and this is actually like increasing as well. So I did notice this, and I thought, okay, this is gonna go. So I switched my bias again back to long side. Started here. This was what I considered a perfect like short trap. We'll have a look on the tape as well in this one. Added there, and then I stepped out. So this one just before the close. I already noticed that it's actually quite heavy a little bit earlier, but didn't want to like risk removing stop and and trying to manually close the position and only catching it somewhere, somewhere here on a big flush. So I just allowed the stop to be there and see how it plays out. Got stopped out. In hindsight, now that I'm looking at it, there was too much confluence on a short side, and I'll switch to the other thing here, to the tape recording later. It could be a little bit better to see the volume distribution imbalance that are kind of ignored. This is like a little for the tape. So where I started my position was, I saw this offer trap and bid prop. I perceived this to be a breakout offer trap. So a stack on the ask at 208. This is kind of tight. Spread is tight. Bid prop is there as well. Big order came in and started taking off a trap, and I took start along. So once I saw the green, this being chipped away, I took the start position long. After taking it out, there's another offer trap behind it, and so this is as well one of the things I think on how to identify like a sequence, identifying maybe a weak tape is like multiple, not like stacks, but small offer traps at subsequent levels like 208, 209, and then just weak tape exhausting. So there was another that bid prop never stepping up, it's staying at its level. Did manage to reclaim offer trap level with what I thought hidden buyer. So it actually managed to reclaim the offer trap level, which was at 208, but it was with one. And I'm not sure if there was more selling, but I perceived this to be as a hidden buyer basically, and that's why I thought like, okay, my long thesis is like, okay, still working, and this is gonna be a next breakout, and that's when it's gonna go. Yeah, it didn't manage to reclaim with what I thought hidden buyer, probably swayed me more to long buyers. And that's maybe when I stopped watching, not like watching tape, but I was perceiving it completely opposite way. Then we dropped the low offer trap with some selling. I thought was, oh yeah, so that's the another thing. It's like I didn't see the offer stepping down, so I kind of was thinking more on still on the long side, as this being shorts getting trapped while this is not stepping down. Then we stepped down offer to original offer trap level and failed. So yeah, then after this, then the offer basically stepped down to the original offer trap, and then we failed. We can have a quick look on the tape. So that's what I meant, like the pattern that I kind of noticed a couple of times already. The green line is 1010. This was from previous day on AIBK. Totally missed this. Actually, I think I had level 280 on this, and it actually did what I would normally take, but somehow had hesitated, didn't take it. Was actually a good fight. So why this I think worked on a long side on a clear out, and this didn't, was this push is like, okay, low volume, but there's still a consolidation push, so most of this volume is still kind of below this level that it holds. There's no huge sell volume, there's no huge imbalance, it's still like all mostly buyers in control. That's when it dips. Maybe this was like a little trap for shorts, but it still didn't sell out everything they got here, like it didn't sell out everything over here. So it's just recycling their shares, buying up at lower price for a breakout, and then slam them. While this is this is non-existent volume compared to everything else, and on this candle already we have a huge imbalance where it just pushes and getting sold down. Another candle, this is being sold down again, so there's kind of, you see more sellers than buyers and I think that's why you could say there's more long stuck in you know in that situation than shorts struggling. But I kind of ignored that, so I wanted to see a similar pattern what happened here. So I said that I want to see kind of dip into this, reclaim, and then go test those levels at 260. And I got fooled. I thought maybe okay, this was the little trap, because it didn't do really a nice short trap to ignite it long, and kind of the maybe this increase in volume over here, this bigger 15-minute candle as well. I kept looking at the time and when it's gonna close, predicting what volume might it do, and kind of swayed me to start position early. So this is the price action for where I started my position. Was a little bit of spread, so it was like still waiting. Then the offer bid prop comes in, so 7 order gonna start chipping this away, starts chipping away. That's when I start my long position, thinking it's gonna be a breakout. No, wait, I'll start a little bit later, somewhere here I think, yes, because the bid prop stepped up. That's when I started my position, but then it drops. This drops as well a little bit lower to the original offer trap, and then it kind of sells off. So I suppose what I failed to notice was, we'll skip to 55. Where basically bid is not going up with buyers stepping in. So there was already some play at this stage with a spread. So we see this, we see bid, we see buyers coming in. Spread is open 0307 with 4-cent spread, buyers coming in, but bid is not stepping up, which I suppose would be perceived as weakness. Then we can go, so that would be like a 1 signal. Then we can go to 1 hour 06, 1 hour 06, which would be dip trap with bid prop. I think this one. 06. Yeah, it must be this one. A little bit earlier then. So that's my start position, and I originally still wanted like a dip to 180. But this I thought was gonna be my long trigger, because I still needed like a short trap. Got some spread, I'm holding $2. Some selling, but we kind of still holding. The big tape looks green, so I'm like, okay, maybe we definitely gonna go long. Then this dips, Offer stays at, yeah, 190, so it did kind of walk down a little bit. We got spread now, so I thought, okay, so now the low chasing shorts, slamming on a bid, getting trapped. Now I waited for confirmation to reclaim, I think, at least 190 and hold it. So some buyers, I'm still waiting for that 190. Okay, we got 190 again. We see one, some selling into one and holding, then bid prop at a higher level. I'm thinking, okay, that was again like a hidden buyer. More green coming through, and I'm like, okay, good. That's the actual trap I wanted to see on the short side to ignite us long, but we still haven't closed the spread. The bid was never like really stepping up. And what more confirmed to me that, or made me believe in my bias, was somewhere around 21. There was some selling, but we actually managed to hold. Don't remember. I think it's 88 or something, somewhere around here when we're gonna drop. So spread is quite tight. We've got on a bid, quite even distribution on a bid and the offer, getting chipped away on a bid. And then all the selling, and we kind of hold the level. Withstanding this like selling pressure. And then this got slapped on the offer, the big order. So at this point I was looking if we're gonna hold where we are and if we can reclaim that offer trap. Because I was still like starting position, so my risk was still under 180, seeing how it acts. Okay, we see big orders go through, that offer trap getting taken away, and that's where I add to my long position, but we never really reclaim it with a bid. So that's, I suppose, another sign of weakness, which I actually failed to acknowledge. Next would be 22, bid prop with offer trap. Yeah, so that's we've seen with a big offer trap, 307. 24, bid prop, spread AA orders, 124. I think it was just the usual spread open as well. They tried to bid prop it, and some AA orders in play, I think right over here. So we above 190, offer trap, 92. There should be some AA orders. Okay, we're not able to hold the bid as well. It does seem like this more steady increased volume, which tricked me as well. I'm looking, so we still got like 9 minutes to close the 15 minutes. We already like almost similar like previous, so I'm definitely gonna post, I think, a bigger volume. Well, at least that's what I'm thinking. I test the AA somewhere a little bit earlier maybe. Next we go on the another one when I had like a change in bias, but then changed it back again, which was 204 something. Looking bid not going over 2, so over here as well. So as I said, this was like I wanted to do rejection into 2 or like J lines, but then I noticed like, oh look, we did like a nice trap below 180 and actually pushing stronger on the like buy volume. We should go like higher, and we weren't able to hold the 2 level, which was the kind of like my perceived risk for short if I would have taken it. Oh yeah, we missed it. What? 204. I think somewhere here. So we're gonna push 99. We are not able to push it above it. So offer goes above 2, but we're never able to hold it with a bid. More AAs coming through, but small greens, and we kind of just fail it. It's still the offer trap at 202, more selling. Again, idea behind this was, if we get this, we need to do like a little consolidation over here of J lines and then do like a dip. My risk was with the starter at 173, so I still was expecting to get like a higher low somewhere around maybe this area 182, and at here and then push. 207.33 holding bid. 207. 207.33. So over here, I thought, okay, this was the, no, maybe not this. I still want it lower. But the weakness would be, we did manage to go above, we bid above $2. Lots of green like and big orders, AA orders as well. Break the offer trap. Pull the bid up above 2, but the original offer trap was at 202, not at 2. So ideally we're gonna hold 202, which we're not really able to hold for long because there's an offer trap over there and it just keeps absorbing all the buyers. There's like lots of buying, but you're just not budging the 203, and then we lose the 202 and $2. Bid drops below, and now I'm waiting for basically for offer to walk down as well. Well, I would be waiting, but I'm on a long side, so I'm thinking, okay, buyers not stepping down, so maybe they're getting exhausted because all this is just looks like more of a buying volume, even over here as well. So as I see the offer not walking down, I'm thinking, okay, we actually exhausted them, so I wouldn't be too mad if we do another like little trap to push higher past this $2 level that I'm considering like a key level. But we're just not able to hold the $2. And 209. AA at work, and hold here 209. They tried again to hold above. There's gonna be like AA orders to hold it above $2, but with no luck. And more sellers coming in. Still not able to hold it. seems almost like completely non-existent. I think if it would have gone, I think it should have gone like right now. And next we'll go to hours 12. Got this. To 12. So I thought this was gonna be the short trap that I wanted. As well, where the offer's not walking down. There's a big selling into 95. Like all this selling, and we have the offer at 95, and bid is at 88. It didn't seem to be like stepping down. All the selling, holding. Offer is still at 92, and we were at 80, 84, even lower. And then like some green come in, bigger orders. I think I wanted to see hold 190. Again, AA orders in play. This was like, as I would say, like a spread play trap short, and it's on SSR. And then when this came in as well, 95, bid stepped up to that. Well, I was already, I think I saw a bid stepping up somewhere 90 maybe or something. I got like a little bit earlier, but I waited for bid to step in. It still had like a spread. It's still not really pushing it like really up, just like holding bid propping at like a lower level to sell higher. And I think maybe that's why ask offer wasn't really stepping down, because he wanted, well, of course he wanted to sell as high as he can, so he will hold it and like tease it just to come and clear it, allow it to clear, and then stack another offer on top on a subsequent level, like a small one that's looking enough, manageable to take out and take it higher. So yeah, that's my misjudgment a little bit on the long side. There was a little bit too much confluence on above, and I think the traded imbalance was as well more on a thesis towards short side better than a long side. Let's have a quick look at some that's how it should have been. A quick look at some trades. This is DSHA, where I did lose a little bit of my control, and mainly because I had a level 260 where I wanted it to short at. So that's 260 is over here, and I took before my level, I took 1, 2, 3, 4 trades before my level, and I would say most of them were oversized, and that's like that's a little bit of my issue. There wasn't really anything to take here. I got sucked into seeing like a big offer trap actually, and price being weakened to the offer trap, but I don't know, I've already noticed it more than once that whenever I try to actually size into the big offer trap, it more often than not it actually gets taken out and taken higher, and I just need to stop doing that at these levels, not even at my level. So not counting these should have been okay. So 260 if I would have traded my what I wanted to see. So this probably these two would be okay, which would be these two entries, which was quite okay, and I did stop it with this one to there, something along the lines. But yeah, I think I took this. Yeah, I think that's this goes like this. So yeah, I think this I'm quite okay with this trade because, well, the attempt, and I actually stopped it as well at my perceived risk, which was this. And then yeah, so I think I started, took half off, and then added again, and stopped it all at my perceived risk. This took a starter over here. I think I front ran it on my 15 minutes. I think I front ran it a little bit. Then that's all clear out. Yeah, I wanted to see because I started here. I added this, and since we actually were quite close to the $3 that I was like interested in, and I think it was a little bit higher level. And once we got there, start forming this like shelf with having average from here, added there small. I kind of didn't want to figure out, and I added here, and we held it, and I thought, okay, we're gonna do a clear out, and I thought I don't want to carry average I have because I won't be feeling really comfortable if we're gonna test the higher level. I think 310 or 320 or something like this. So I took some off, but then got fooled into adding here, and I think this ad or this previous ad was actually when you said in the chat that 20k shorts got trapped below 290. So I wasn't feeling very great then, but got this another ad. Actually turned out quite a decent trade. Well, second half of it, after I hit my level. All this was horrible and oversized, unnecessary, basically loss, and it did cause me to slightly undersize like on this one, because I already felt like I believe I was trading past MDL at some point. I can't remember from either from here or this trade, I don't remember correctly, but was already like past MDL and wasn't feeling very great, and I didn't want to size in too much, so I think like I was maybe like half size over here compared to like 3/4 of trades over here. So that's with this. What else we have? We have Epics. This as well, I think was on the same time. I was looking at AIBK, I think, trades. So kind of, and I missed that one, and I think it was a little bit of one of my triggers. I think if I have a plan and I hesitate on it and miss it, don't take it, I think that's when I get affected a little bit more. So I think this was one of those like, oh, I need to be in the trade because I missed that one, and then I'm gonna miss this one. But yeah, golden zone, I took it on a golden zone. There was no really, how to say, I don't know, signal actually to like risk off or something. Even this like stuff is, it's not, nothing screams to me that there's a huge imbalance created or something, that it's a key level. Okay, we can look at maybe this area over here. as a potential level of resistance, which we actually reject a little bit. My entry is maybe too late. Then add again, ignored completely. I did see this, but I completely ignored this dip. For okay, a trap short. Trapped some shorts. We want to go higher. I kind of ignored, just watched that the selling, and it did look weak, so I added more. Cut half, added, and then just cut everything, thinking, okay, I don't want to get exhausted. You can do whatever you want to do, and I felt like I'm obsessing about missing the AIBK, so I just left it alone. That's the one we watched the tape for. RLX. This was just a starting position, and it was a billion-dollar company with a quite huge float, so didn't want to as well size in too much. Just it was one of those just to kind of click the button to see if it works. I mean the so-called system of mine or setup, and it kind of did. Added a little bit later, but too late. But that's because the billion-dollar company, and I think float was over 400 mil or something. Not something I really usually trade, but since it did what I wanted it to do, so I took it. Not a big win, nothing, but just nice that it worked. And you can see as well, I would say volume divergence. Next, QNGY. This one was another one, kind of a little bit silly. I think I got swayed as well by chatting around because someone got into the trade like earlier, and I think I got swayed by that because my original idea was I even wanted to take it long at 320, I think somewhere around here, and my idea for short was no sooner than 4, so no sooner than this. So as well, this was like a necessary trade, and this wasn't necessary as well. But yeah, missed this long because this was one of the patterns, the same basically pattern that I was thinking like for a clear out long. Because over here we can see, so this volume is all under here, all this, even most of these two big candles as well, they kind of, most of it probably somewhere here. So once we reclaim this, most of this volume, I would be thinking, even this massive dump hold down, it wasn't on a huge, we're talking about 600,000 sell, and compared to these, the buy volume was, which was around 1,200,000 per candle, so even more. So I don't even consider this as a, like a kill candle. It just wasn't there in the volume wise. Sure, we did this like consolidation, little dip, so okay, this can be a trap below this like range, but we still got most of this volume below. It reclaims, and I did think like this long with a minimum of $4, or actually like a clear out higher, but I did start it too early. Some of these, so again I got affected, started too early, cut it at my perceived risk. This is bad, still a bad habit. Straight I cut it, and straight I sort of add back in. It was like a starter position. This one was as well like, okay, I wanted $4, it'd go above 4. We did the shelf, looks like a clear out, and I'm thinking, okay, we're so close, we kind of reclaimed most of this like area, and I thought if it's gonna go even more higher, even test actually breakouts over here, and if it does like a little bit of sign up hold here with starting over here, I really don't want to find out how I'm gonna feel over there. So I just got my position there, and I was looking straight away. I knew that I'm gonna look for re-entry, which I got over here, which I'm quite happy with. Then held for the targets. Actually covered most of it like on the same target, but it just didn't give the the fade that I wanted. Yeah, this was, I think, would have maybe covered a little bit sooner, but just I think because really close to these are all covers are a quarter of the size, so I didn't feel I covered enough over here, and just going into the after hours just in case it's gonna go higher. So just wanted to cover there. This looked like higher lows, so covered a little bit more, and then held 1/4 for later on to see if we can go like 290ish, or maybe even like lower. What do we have here? This was, I think, Cody, shouts out this. That was like Friday Power Hour. I had a quick scan of this. I only had one level on it for, I think, like at $2. Didn't have like a close examination of this, but had a level at $2. That's where I started, added more. Well, yeah, like started, added more. It seemed to have worked. So I anticipated this at first on what I see, like first 15-minute candle. Starter, then I added on fail of $2 on the tape. And this was very unusual for me, the way this acted, the whole pattern, like when this did third 15-minute did a clear out. Kind of usually want to see this do a clear out and then dump. So this was, so I kind of, and I didn't have any levels above marked above $2. So I kind of, on this move up, I did add here, but then cut my position where my risk was. I didn't want to find out as well what the size I had over here, what's the next level maybe. So I just cut it there. Missed this completely because I wasn't familiar with a pattern like this, seeing stuff like this. So I just let it go. It went down, and once it fell below $2, I waited for it to show the weakness into that level on the tape, and that's where I sort of got in, and my risk was just above $2 and covered at some targets. And that's it. Have a great rest of the weekend, and catch you next week.